Happy weekend, nerds! It's a new week, therefore it's a new anime streaming showcase, and I know that you guys are all eager to go out and play Zelda Breath of the Wild and finagle all your new Switch toys, but just give me a few minutes of your time as we delve into this episode's of Anime Streaming Showcase focused on Gankutsuou, Count of Monte Cristo. Long time ago, back in the early days of the internet, back in 2006, it was a rough beginning when I was trying to discover new anime. Learning the tropes and designs and artists that could create magnificent stories was important to me, just as much as any story or character. I eventually settled into a groove and a comfort zone that I liked, including series like Berserk, Dragon Ball, and the occasional Gundam. Pretty standard newcomer fare, to be honest. But I always kept seeing another series circulating and getting buzz, and that show was Gankutsuou, the Count of Monte Cristo, by Studio Gonzo. It's a series I'd pushed aside for many years, although I'd heard great things about it. I was just never really a big fan of old literature. I even bought it super cheap several years ago on an Amazon Funimation sale, but I never watched it until recently. The premise and the synopsis of the novel and anime had me turned off for years. Thankfully, I finally opened my proverbial anime heart to Gankutsuou and found a series that stuffed with style and substance. Gankutsuou, the Count of Monte Cristo, is a loose adaptation of Alexandre Dumas's novel from the 19th century. Gankutsuou retells the story in a different way and in a different time, the year 5000 to be specific, but it retains most of the themes, characters, and plot points Dumas did. Gankutsuou and the source material, the Count of Monte Cristo, is the tale of revenge, redemption, and social classification. Albert is the offspring of a renowned general, and he's our main protagonist. His best friend Franz, also a general's son, toured the city of Luna. Luna enraptures the two in a sensory overload that changes their lives forever. Albert meets the Count of Monte Cristo, who's quite taken with him, and Albert becomes quite infatuated with the Count himself, and so the trap is laid, so to speak. The remaining 23 episodes of Gankutsuou are a space-age tale of what's commonly known as the Long Con. A story like the Count of Monte Cristo has naturally aged well past any statute of limitations that you can throw out there to try and avoid any spoilers. It's been countlessly homaged and parodied for decades. Even The Simpsons have done a parody of the Count of Monte Cristo. But if you've somehow stayed in the dark completely about the story, congratulations! As always, I will never spoil media for anyone, and I'll even concede that given the original's production, twists, and spoilers, we're still relatively new to literature. So it almost needs that. It needs that intact to have the impact it has once the story reaches its climax. But the Count of Monte Cristo, in this particular take of Edmond Dantes, is not a good person despite how he airs himself. He presents himself as righteous and considerate, and he is, as long as he's getting his way and everything's going according to his plans. Edmund is only out to ensure his interests are protected, and he will literally do anything to make sure his revenge is complete. He's initially a hard person to hate. He's charming, he's patient, he's charitable, and he's pleasant. But when his plans become askew, the true demonic nature and the titular character can surface. And he's not necessarily without understanding motivations or arguably justifiable drive, but his abilities and his actions are completely discrediting. Of course, one of the points of Monte Cristo is to the true understanding of revenge and the effects on it of those involved. Meanwhile, we have the naive Albert, who gets caught up in the Count's web and is perceivably us, figuratively existing in this world. His naivete is us, coming into this world, jaded by only knowing one side of the story, our loyalty to our friends and family. The Count's marvelous presence and enrapturing nature is easy to get coaxed into, but that's the brilliance and that's the manipulation of Edmund. The old adage, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, is quite poignant here. Albert and Edmund's story is literally one that has lasted centuries in fiction and has been replicated many times over. But the reason so many plots have recreated and repurposed this particular story is often because of their quality. It's a subjective take, but sure, this is a review. Studio Gonzo, makers of Afro Samurai, Hellsing, they weren't happy just adapting Monte Cristo without making it a standout production, and the most notable aspect of this is its art. Let me show you. slapped with a potentially jarring but gorgeous art style. Gankutsuou's fever dream representation of the 51st century's future has been a turnoff for a lot of viewers. I've read many reviews of Gankutsuou that concede that its art may not be for everyone and may turn many off just in its opening episode. That's fair. That's an absolute fair point. But I would hope more look past the immediate and see what lies underneath the sheen. Once your eyes adjust to the distinctive look of Gankutsuou, you find it's wrapped around a gripping, specifically paced plot of payback. Meanwhile, despite the art's in-your-face appeal, the soundtrack's quite subtle, and Kasamatsu Koji's contributions are splendid. They're a blend of haunting strings and almost futuristic EDM that captures the aesthetic of the art style. Gankutsuou is essentially a story that's been done to death, and it's hardly original, but Gonzo took its original location, threw it way far into the future, and created a memorable, albeit seemingly forgotten gem. The appeal of Gankutsuou lies in its production and its story, and both can be divisive depending on if its art is a turnoff, or if you're already familiar with Dumas's original story. But I urge that if both are deterrents for you, at least give the first 3 episodes of Gankutsuou a chance before completely dismissing it. You can find Gankutsuou streaming on sites like Crunchyroll, and even Funimation's YouTube channel has it. But Funimation does offer the US localization, and the series is often found for like $20 on Amazon at this point. It's an older series. So I definitely think Gankutsuou, once you get past the art style, once you get past the very jarring aspect of it, I truly think Gankutsuou is a lost gem, and people that do see it do have an appreciation for it. But I could totally understand someone being turned off just by the art style or the fact that it's essentially a retread of a century-old story. But I think there's something to this particular adaptation that helps send it into sort of a modern age, even to almost a futuristic age. So there we have it. Brand new episode, Anime Streaming Showcase. As always, so much thanks to the Laser Time guys for always allowing me to do this. They're absolutely terrific. They gave me an outlet to share the shit that I like with you people, and I hope that you people like it and appreciate it. As always, comment, leave series and thoughts and things like that to help me get better, because I know that this is not the most squeaky clean production, and there's a lot of issues and things I could sort of tighten up and tweak in there. So, but I do love doing this, and I will be back next week for a brand new episode of Anime Streaming Showcase. See ya!